Welcome to KXAN News Today. 5 people are without a place to live after a home caught fire around 10 last night in southeast Austin. That home near Stastny and Nichols Crossing. No injuries reported, and the cause of that fire is still being investigated.
Today, Austin ISD is breaking ground on Pecan Springs Elementary School, getting a full campus modernization for Rogue Lane and Manor Road between I-35 and 183. The groundbreaking is part of AISD's 2022 bond program.
If you've been looking for a job and like mail, a potential opportunity for you, today Workforce Solutions is hosting a job fair for the U.S. Postal Service. The fair begins at 10 this morning at the Workforce Solutions Capital area. It's right off I-35 in North Austin. And it is weather whiplash this morning. It is the coldest morning of the season here in Central Texas. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Miller.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sally Hernandez. You said it perfectly. Definitely a whiplash. Kristen Curry is going to talk about how cold it is. She's outside in the cold right now over at the Trail of Lights. A special assignment for her. Rich has a good assignment of being inside where it's warm.
I mean, just think about this. Kristen last week in Marble Falls in the rain. And today in the cold. Oh my gosh.
She loves it.
She loves the elements.
I guess she does. Hey, we do have the coldest morning of this young season with temperatures in the 30s, but we have some wind chills in the 20s. We'll get into that in a moment. Right now at Camp Mabry, a clear sky, 38 degrees. Temperatures as cold as 29 at San Saba. Mostly the low 30s in the northern and western hill country, upper 30s to around 40, Burnett County. And then we've got 30s across the interstate into our eastern viewing area. Now, the winds are coming out of the northwest, on the whole around 5 to 10 miles an hour. The gusts subsided during the overnight hours. Wind chill right now of 24 at Mason, 26 at Llano, 28 at Georgetown, 30 at Cameron, 32 at Giddings. You get the idea. We've got that cold air, and the freeze warning continues until 8 o'clock this morning for those wind chills in the mid-20s to the low 30s, and most all of our viewing area handled by the National Weather Service office down in New Braunfels will be under this freeze warning until 8 o'clock. Bus stop forecast will find a clear sky at drop-off and sunshine at pickup, 35 at 8 a.m. and 63 at about 2 to 3 o'clock. When the freeze warning ends, we'll talk about 70s to return and rain as well in just a few minutes. Tom?
Thank you, Rich. This morning, more than 100 people are waking up in Austin's overnight cold weather shelters.
It is the first time those overnight shelters have been activated since this winter. And there are outreach groups like Walking by Faith Prison Ministry that were out yesterday. They were warning people how cold it was going to get, and they were working to get them inside into a warm shelter.
We're going out, walking, trying to tell people that they can get on the bus for free and go down to Barton Creek. To be able to get prepared to get inside of a recreation center so that they could be warm for tonight and get them some food.
The city said that it's going to monitor the weather conditions to see if the cold weather shelters are going to be needed later on tonight.
Looking in depth at options outside of Austin, Round Rock told us its crisis response unit keeps ongoing contact with its homeless community. For longer freeze events, the city will open overnight shelter options. Georgetown says it did not open any warming shelters, but it does encourage people to check in on others.
All right, another news this morning, a Travis County grand jury is indicting a man for capital murder in connection to a decades-old cold case. 25-year-old UT nursing student Susan Leigh Wolf was murdered in January of 1980. That case remained cold just until last year when investigators used DNA evidence to track down a suspect. And in August, a warrant was issued for Deck Brewer Jr. He's a 78-year-old inmate at a prison in Massachusetts. A Travis County jury indicted him on 2 counts of capital murder and terroristic threat in connection to Wolf's death.
Police in Washington state have arrested a minor in connection to a September swatting incident here at San Marcos High School. City of San Marcos says the suspect is facing charges in similar swatting calls all across the country. Swatting is when someone makes a false report of a shooting or a threat to get an emergency response. And in September, about 150 first responders raced to San Marcos High School, following an anonymous report of an active shooting there. That turned out to be false. Investigators say detectives connected the young suspect with the San Marcos incident after a search of his phone and computers. San Marcos police are not identifying the minor because of his age.
All right, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service announcing plans to extend federal protections when it comes to monarch butterflies.
Yeah, they could go on the threatened species list by the end of next year. If they are placed on the list, it would add restrictions to killing or transporting the butterflies. The service is taking public comments on the proposal through mid-March. And of course, this is an iconic time of year. The trail lights all turned on. It is back.
It is so nice to see it out there. Jennifer Sanders was there last night showing you what it's going to look like. Braving the cold last night and braving the cold this morning. To give us more information on the trail, we have our morning meteorologist, Kristen Curry, who's out there to explain, oh, you look cold, sis, just how cold it is. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, a little chilly, but you know what? It's okay. I'm excited to be out here. The holiday cheer is warming me up this morning because we are live at the 60th Trail of Lights here in Austin at Zilker Park. So much to take advantage of this year, friends. This is going to run nightly all the way through December 23rd. I know that tonight is free, and I know that tomorrow's free. Even Friday night is going to be free admission. Usually on the weekends when it's a little bit busier, you can purchase a ticket, but they have 2 million lights here at Zilker Park. They've got 90 of those lighted trees, the Christmas trees that they deck out, and then they've got about 70 of those holiday displays and the tunnels like what you see here. So many photo opportunities for you and the family, not to mention, you know, all the little goodies, the hot cocoa, the hot cider, the adult spirits that are also available during the night. There's so much fun to take advantage of. And the big man himself, Santa, is here, and he is taking any last-minute requests before the big day on December 25th. So, friends, we've got a fun morning in store today.
The man arrested and accused in last week's killing of the United Healthcare CEO in New York wants to fight extradition from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Luigi Mangione shouted at cameras as he went before the judge yesterday. The court denied Mangione bail.
If you believe in America and that presumption of innocence, then you cannot rush to judgment.
I wanted to pause so you could hear what he was saying, trying to talk to the media as they took him into the courtroom. Police say when officers responded to that McDonald's, Mangione then presented a fake ID, and they were asking if he had been to New York recently. Police say that he started to shake, taken into custody without incident. Initially arrested on a forgery charge. Police then searching his backpack and say that's when they found a firearm and a suppressor.
So they also found a handwritten note. Law enforcement sources confirming it said in part, quote, "These parasites had it coming." Brian Thompson's funeral was on Monday near his home in Minnesota. The Mangione family releasing a statement offering prayers to his family. They also expressed their shock at his arrest.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone, to KXAN News Today as we take a live look outside from our camera over in Round Rock, the Whittlesey landscape camera there, showing 9:35, and it is cold as you wake up with us this morning on a Wednesday. The latest on that coming up in just the next few minutes. All right, small business owners, some of them are a little concerned after the Texas Comptroller said that the state needs to update taxing laws for businesses who sell their products on certain online marketplaces.
So the Texas Comptroller Glenn Hager wants to clarify what a data processing service is. For business owners, this means there could be another tax to list items online. It's only if the marketplace you're using doesn't already include that tax in fees for sellers. The CEO of the sauce company, Pretty Thai, says he's worried the company will end up paying more in taxes than they're even making selling their items.
There's a very real chance that we will not be able to sell on the platform because it won't make financial sense.
Hager says his office's job is to clarify the tax language. It's up to legislators to actually change the law.
Got some bad news for some coffee drinkers out there. I apologize for that. So early in the morning, but you got to get to it. There's a possibility your daily cup of joe might become a little bit more expensive. And it has to do with climate change. That's what they're saying the cause is. Unpredictable climate events spiking the price of Arabica beans to record high level. The beans this month up to $3.50 per pound. That's up 70% this year. The countries that produce those beans the most, Brazil and Vietnam, and they are experiencing diminished crop yields. Oof.
Yeah, I mean,
Take a moment to do that.
even if you were to maybe switch to a different type of coffee bean, then there's going to be more demand for that bean
Exactly,
too. I don't know how you escape this other than, like a lot of things, just sort of forking it over.
Move to tea.
Yeah,
Move to tea with a lot of caffeine, because I just need
Just a little bit or a lot?
a lot. How about?
I like the taste of coffee, but I do like the taste of tea as well.
Yeah.
However, I'm like, now, there's no way I can do this show this early with you. I'm sure you are also drinking a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, something to keep up. Because,
this is early.
Yeah, when you go outside, the coffee doesn't keep you up. That cold weather's gonna smack you in the face.
Will.
It is so cold.
We're in the 20s and 30s right now. This was forecast, and so the forecast is verifying. This is a live view from the Austonian, where the current temperature in downtown Austin is 38 degrees. The cold front long since gone. High pressure now dominating. And as this high, which this morning is over the Big Bend, starts moving a little bit closer to us, the wind speeds, which are around 5 to 10 miles per hour now out of the northwest, those wind speeds will slowly start to drop off to just around 5 miles an hour. This after some rather strong wind gusts yesterday, 37 mile per hour gust at the airport, 35 both at Burnett, Pflugerville, and also at Taylor. 33 at Camp Mabry, as well as at LaGrange and San Marcos, and 32 at Fredericksburg, Giddings, and Llano. All of the reporting stations that verify these winds did report gusts of over 30 miles an hour. The wind's much lower today. That wind, along with the clouds, kept temperatures yesterday from not getting out of the 50s at most locations. Austin did reach 60 degrees yesterday afternoon, 5 degrees below the average. By noon today, after the 30s that we're feeling this morning, we'll warm into mostly the upper half of the 50s to around 60 with that dry northwest wind, on our way to most highs today in the low to mid 60s. Again, the normal high in the mid 60s, and most of us will be in the mid 60s this afternoon. All right, so we're sunny today, then we start to cloud up tomorrow morning and continue to see the clouds increase tomorrow afternoon, opening the door for the first little bit of rain that we'll see on Friday into Saturday. Not that much aerial coverage. I think the GFS model and the European model both are overplaying the intensity and the amount of rain that we could see. But it's really Monday that we start seeing a few showers and thunderstorms ahead of a second front. These two fronts that you see on the map are not really going to cause temperature drops at all. They'll just cause wind shifts more than anything else, and then a little bit of rain Tuesday into Wednesday. The America model says not much rain Friday, not much rain Saturday, but then as we get into that Monday to Wednesday time frame, we are looking at some totals of a ½ an inch to an inch along and east of I-35, and perhaps even 2 out in the eastern part of the hill country. From the First Warning Weather Center, sunshine today. It'll be a beautiful blue sky after the clouds we had yesterday. A northwest wind at around 5 miles an hour. Your high this afternoon, 64 degrees. In the morning, we fall to 38. The recovery will be to 66. Breezes will be stronger out of the south tomorrow and again on Friday. Right now, rain chances for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at around 10 to 20%. Monday is when we have our higher rain probability at 40% for showers and thunderstorms. And then I've got a little bit of rain on Tuesday with a minor drop in temperatures from the low to mid 70s Monday to the mid and upper 60s on Tuesday. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. Tom?
Thank you, Rich. U.S. senators who are members of the January 6th Select Committee spoke about the potential for jailing committee members. Comes after President-elect Trump said he is looking to pardon his supporters involved in the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Trump said it could come as soon as his first day in office. He also warned that some members should go to jail. Chairman Benny Thompson calling Trump's suggestion absolutely wrong.
Just because you disagree with the work of the committee is no way to threaten those members of the committee with jail. So obviously that's his opinion. I'm comfortable with the fact that as members of Congress, we were doing our job. And as long as we do our job, there are certain guarantees that we have. And I look forward to enforcing those guarantees.
After an 18-month investigation, the committee concluded that Trump was the, quote, one man responsible for the efforts to overturn the election which led to that attack on the Capitol. Back here closer to home, coping with the region's explosive growth continuing to be a top priority for Hays County, the largest school district down there.
Yeah, a lot of people are moving to Hays County. CISD knows it, so they called for bond elections every couple of years to keep up with the growth and all the students, and that's rather likely to continue in 2025. So they're going to continue to ask voters to pass a bond to give the school district money. They're considering calling it, though, the biggest bond election to date. We're talking about nearly $1 billion. More than half of the bond would fund a new high school. It'd also make a possible new elementary school, several improvements and modernization projects also all over the school district.
Honestly, when we started getting the initial estimates, it's kind of shocking to us too. We'd rather have a higher price and not need it than have a lower price and end up having to scale back what voters have voted for.
The school district does plan to hold several in-person informational meetings about the bond. The board could decide whether to call a May 2025 bond election by mid-February.
For some insight on this, last year, Hays CISD voters approved more than $300 million in bond proposals just to keep up with that growth. It's on top of securing more space. It also is using part of that money for more safety and security measures. A few weeks ago, the district installed 6 to 8 foot fences on all campuses. Last year's bond approval came at no additional cost to taxpayers.
A federal district judge blocking the pending $25 billion merger of a grocery chain, Kroger and Albertson. Federal Trade Commission arguing that it would eliminate head-to-head competition between the top two traditional grocery chains. Both have stores here in Texas. Albertson's owning Randall's, the stores that you see in the Austin area.
Ahead this morning on Today, Savannah Guthrie taking us to the Hidden Heroes event. She is partnering with Tom Hanks for a good cause, highlighting the nation's military caregivers to make sure they get the support they deserve.
Been a part of the Elizabeth Dole Foundation as a caregiver fellow has given me so much of what I have been missing for the past 5 years. I didn't realize how much I miss being around other people, to be able to sleep in a bed, for more than 2 hours and, uninterrupted sleep. It was everything.
More on the work they are doing coming up on Today.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
A year of first for the Longhorns in the SEC, so first batch of all SEC players for Texas, including 2 on the first team. Starting with defensive back, the pride of Conley High School, Jahdae Barron. First team on the All-SEC defense. He's a Thorpe Award finalist. We'll find out about that tomorrow. Kelvin Banks, All-SEC offensive lineman. 3 on the second team, including Quinn Ewers, along with Gunnar Helm. And on the defensive side of the ball, Anthony Hill, Quintravian Wisner, and Andrew Makuba named to the third team. Well, last night, Jake Majors, Longhorn center, was in Vegas. He's a Campbell Trophy finalist, kind of the academic Heisman. Jalen Milroe won it from Alabama. Majors set to make his 52nd start at Texas as they get ready for the playoff and a chance to regroup a little bit. And while they wanted to advance all the way into the quarterfinals, one last time on the home turf is pretty cool for this senior.
Team, we just got to go out there and play like we're trying to keep our family together, because what's so special about this team is we're all bought into the culture, and it feels like a brotherhood, like a true brotherhood, like everybody loves each other, and we got to fight for our brotherhood. Never thought I'd be a part of a home game in December in Austin, so it's the first of its kind, and we invite change, we invite the pressure, because we feel like we perform well under pressure.
Well, pressure on Wimberley again. They're into the state semifinals. Last year, the Texans were undefeated but lost in the semifinals by 2 to Belleville. They're back there again this year. They'll play Friday night in Georgetown against La Vega High School out of Waco with a little revenge on their mind, not against the team, but the circumstances.
It goes back to last year when we, walked off the field. But with a defeat there in the semifinals and a tough loss. And so you see it as these kiddos, they've been in some big-time ball games, and so they never waver. They never if things maybe start to go a little bit south or not playing the way we want to play, there's no panic in their eyes. There's no, they're not griping at each other.
And that's Friday night. Saturday, 2 6A games involving local teams. Westlake and North Shore down in Katy in the afternoon. And then Saturday night at 7 in Waco, Vandergrift takes on Summer Creek High School out of the Humble ISD. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Roger. Coming up, a judge ruling against a national parody website. This ruling, though, no joke. If you're listening on the KXAN Today podcast, thanks for joining us. Hope you'll join us on air for that. You can always find our stories on our website, too, KXAN.com.